Hi everyone, Victoria Jennings here from Entrepreneurs Business School. And with me today is the wonderful James Robert Elliot. Hi, James.
Hello,
Um,
hello. Hey,
he's coming to us from Toronto, which is fantastic. And I invited James here to have a chat to everybody about the blocks to success. So, James, could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, what you do, and then we'll have a lovely chat about this.
for sure. So my name is James Robert Elliot, headquarters Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I help establish entrepreneurs avoid things like burnout, self-doubt, get past things like imposter syndrome, and any self-doubt, really, so they can have more fun, freedom, more time. They have more energy, more travel. I know you just went on a great cruise, so I love to work remotely and travel too. So have all the freedom, all the F's, all the great freedom, fun, family, friends, all the F's in their life that we all want, right? And to do that, and I'm a specialist in that and helping entrepreneurs grow and scale, but more importantly, while they have more life and take their life back, their health back, their time and freedom back.
Oh, it's fantastic. Now I know why we get on so well together.
Right on, right
Um,
on.
we really complement each other, don't we? So all those things you said, so important. So what are the common blocks that you see entrepreneurs have, and give us a little bit of a few tips on how they can smash them.
For sure, for sure. So I'll go through them and then I'll list them. Then I'll go through them a little slower. But a lot of the thing is our past programming. Whether that's the hustle culture, whether it's schools or our parents saying, "Oh, work, 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 work," work your heart. And my thing is to work smart versus working hard. Now, sure, we'll have to work in our business, and I believe more in a business harmony, work life harmony versus work life balance.
Mm.
I mean harmony. For example, some days I'm working 12 hours, 16 hours, rarely, but most days I'm working much less than that. And again, I was working and playing in Philippines, working remotely and playing remotely as well. Heavy emphasis on the playing for 3 weeks, and then took a week off between Christmas and New Year's. So yes, when I'm training, sometimes I'll do 12 to 16-hour days, but then it allows me to have a life of extreme freedom and playing and working all over the world, keeping tabs and checking in on my business, customers, having my business sort of run while I'm sleeping, essentially, or run while I'm awake in Asia and people are asleep here. So that's the past programming of the hustle culture and work, work, work. Got to work hard. You should do this. You shouldn't do that. That's a huge part of the transformation and the growth. Next would be being a jack of all trades. I guess I'll just go into these as I list them.
Yeah,
Just a
great.
jack of all trades. And instead of using Pareto's law, the 80-20 principle, and looking
Mm.
at what is that 20% that A, lights you up and also has you move, that really moves the needle on your success, what really makes a difference. And then what's the 80% that really doesn't get you much at all? That should be, delegated, outsourced, automated, eliminated, thrown out the window, jumped on, you name it, or at least or systematized or deprioritized. Often people do smaller tasks or very low value tasks as a way to procrastinate because of fear, no judgment, fear or maybe they just don't like the bigger tasks. We talked about earlier how different people fit into different boxes, so to speak. If they like people, they like systems, they like numbers, they like communicating. Well, make sure you're doing what you're good at and what you love all day long. Otherwise, if you're working on your weaknesses all the time, you'll just have weaker weaknesses, as Dan Sullivan says. So let's make sure to work on your strengths because that's what people are paying you for. Being a jack of all trades, you do not look like an expert. You not become an expert and a credible authority and thought leader because you're doing all these things versus your 10,000 hour rule to become an expert, doing that 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you love doing all day long. So stop being a jack of all trades because that will limit you. Hire, outsource. And the next point is ego. Let the
Mm.
ego go and be very careful with ego and to pay attention when it rules you. Because I've heard people say, including me, "Oh, James, I can't afford to hire a team or I can't afford to outsource. I don't have enough work for people to outsource. I don't have enough work to systematize, or it'll take me more time to automate this than just to do it." I say yes, to do it once or maybe 5 times, even 10 times, it'll take you more time to automate it. But what if you get 3 or 4 or 5 hours back every week? That's 20 hours a month. That's 40 hours every 2 months. That's an entire work week you get back. every two
Yeah.
months, even though it's going to take you, yes, a little while. So being careful of the ego that way, but also being careful of ego because that can shut down all learning. I
Hmm.
tell people be humble enough to learn from anyone. I learn from my nieces and nephews. They give me all these learnings and ahas. I'm like, that's such a good idea. Why do you do this way, Uncle James? Why don't you do it that way? Oh my gosh, amazing. You know, so
Yeah.
that the ego is a big thing too. I talked about upgrading our mindset as well. Next is authenticity, and we're often being someone who we're not, or we're being someone who people think we should be, who our parents think we should be. We're being someone to please our family, please our friend, please our parents. Um, and I've seen people, stay in the wrong business, stay in relationships they hated, businesses they hated, jobs they hated, um, stay with friends that really that didn't light them up, or just find ways to keep up with the Joneses. Again, things they hated doing, um, lavish lifestyles, whatever, that they didn't want to do just to keep up with the Joneses, to keep up with their current social circle, who really wasn't a very authentic social circle. And in this modern day of the lowest, probably lowest trust there is, and trust being at an all-time low, people's bullshit filters, their BS filters, are at an all-time high. And when people sense inauthenticity, insincerity, BS, or that we have this mask up, we're not being the real version of us, wow, will it ever kill your sales? It'll kill your relationships, it'll kill your dates as well if you're single. Even your relationships will suffer too with that lack of authenticity, which again is at an all-time low. So if you want to stand out, be authentic, be wild, embrace your weirdness, have fun. You wear that funny hat when you do your podcast, or wear a bright colored blazer when you do your meetings, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Have a funny saying. Or I knew this guy, he was in networking, and he said, the man with the pink shirt. And he always wore a pink shirt to these networking meetings. Like, whatever it is, have your, I have a good friend over in South Africa, and she always has these big, tall, funny kind of cat in a hat type hats on, and it's awesome. So that authenticity, that's why people buy. Really, honestly, people buy us, and they buy our why. They don't buy our, oh, I do this and I help you automate or coach you on this. They buy us, and they buy our why. So have a strong why, which we'll get to in a moment, and have what differentiates you. Why are you wild and weird and wonderful and unique and different from everyone? We spend our young lives often trying to be the same, and I was there because I was bullied so badly. I was trying to be the same vanilla person as everyone else, so they had nothing to pick on me. Well, it didn't work. They
Mm.
picked on me anyways. And if I found that people are going to hate on us no matter who we are, no matter what we do. So you might as well do what you love, right, Victoria? You might as well do what you love, be what you love, be full of self-expression, express yourself to the world, however that is,
Yeah.
whatever that is,
Yeah.
and love that and embrace that. And then the right people, the right customers, the right tribe, or they're going to come, they're going to support you, and they're going to stay. Versus the wrong people coming and they leaving because you don't resonate, or bailing or quitting, or talking badly about you. The right people are going to revere you and refer you.
Yeah.
They'll stick around.
Yeah.
So that is a huge thing.
And it's so
Uh,
exhausting trying to be something we're not, isn't it?
oh my God, is talking about burnout. Exactly. Talk about burnout. Exhausting. It's a fortune too if we're spending all kinds of money on stuff that we think makes us cool, or the latest
Yeah.
thing or gadget or whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's exhausting and financially exhausting too. And the end of the day, you're like, why am I doing this? What am I do? These people aren't my real friends. They're not sticking around during hard times when I really need them. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. And then the last two would be your why. People buy your why. So know it and share it with the world, and have it on your website and your podcasts. My why. I love to help people who want to help people. I love helping people who want to make the world a better place, in their own way. That's what lights me up. That's my why. So I want you to do really, really well, because then I do really, really well, and I'm wildly fulfilled, wildly successful. When you're wildly successful and fulfilled, that's my why. Have your why, shout it from the rooftop. Again, people buy your why, and they buy you. So know your why and get clear on your why, and who you are, who you really are, and figuring that out. Now that's a little esoteric and a bit beyond our conversation here, but I think it's important to know your why. And then aligning your vision, make sure that your vision and your business is aligned with your vision. What is your vision? What do you want? Instead of 20 years, or what do you want in the next 6, 8, 12 months? It makes it more real and more versus, 20 years from now, I'd like to have XYZ. What do you want in the next 6 to 12 months? It's real. It's right now. What do you want? And is your business, Victoria, going to get you there? Is it going to create that? Or is it going to fry you and require that you sit in one seat the whole year, not traveling or out with people or doing what you love, or how is it opposite? So we're looking at that as well, sitting, taking time out and reflecting, which is another block to success, is just being on that busy treadmill and not taking mandatory time blocked out in your calendar for thinking, for reflecting, for is this working, what's not working, am I happy, what do I want to do, how can I do this different or better? Also talking with a great mentor and coach will also help you with that too. But making sure your business is aligned to that vision. It's paramount importance. Otherwise, to your point, Victoria, it's exhausting. You burn out. You're procrastinating. You're hesitating on a bunch of things. You don't want to do anymore. There's signs. There's often signs when this happens. If your business is not aligned, maybe you grow to hate your business. You're working less. You're burning out. You're sick. Taking time off. It's a lot of signs that show you, hey, you may be heading down the wrong street.
And that's so important, because when you love your business loves you. I'm a great believer in that.
It's true.
And it works. And when
it just works, correct? Yeah, and you're lit up. You're lit up all day long. You love it. Yeah.
And I think we've all been there. I worked in a job that I hated for 8 years, and there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse,
No,
and
that's what you do all day.
And that becomes health issues if you do that too long.
It's true.
It really does.
It's true.
So I love what you're talking about. It's so important. So important. And it's great, James.
Thank you.
So how can people work with you?
That's a great question. In fact, can I add one more, actually? One, because I think it's important.
Sorry, of course you can.
One more. No worries. I think the last thing that blocks success is our I talked about programming, but it's our self-limiting beliefs. It's I can't, I must, I should, I shouldn't, and people feeling like they're not good enough, they're not worth it, which causes that imposter syndrome or self-doubt. It causes more procrastination, resistance, hesitation, taking little risks, if any risks, little risks versus the big risks that we get the big results and big rewards. Those self-limiting beliefs, it's often the stuff people say to us, things we say to ourselves in our head, or the little monkey, oh, you're not good enough, or they're not going to like you, or they're going to find out that you don't really know anything, or whatever that little devil or gremlin on our shoulder is. And it's working on that. Yeah. Which is why it's a paramount part of my business programs and business coaching programs. It's because if those those big beliefs, the little gremlin on your shoulder, those limiting beliefs are there, you will literally not actuate, not act upon, nor be able to do anything that you don't believe is possible, or if you believe you can't, or you're not good enough, you can't do it as good as someone else, or it'll never work, or whatever. Yeah. If you think you can or can't, you're correct. We've all heard that expression, and you're darn right you're correct. If you think you can or can't, and that little voice in your head says you can't, your mom or dad said you can't, you're not good enough, or it won't work for you, or this is good or bad or otherwise, or some teacher said you're crap at this, or they didn't like your painting, or whatever it is in school, that stuff goes in and sticks, unfortunately, and it stays until you find some powerful tools to rip that out. And I do find that is also a big area that limits people. So again, it's not just the strategy and the structure of the business and the alignment with their vision, but what's going on up here and helping you upgrade that programming and reprogram or even deprogramming all those self-limiting beliefs and the should, shouldn't, can't, must, shouldn't, and just a good boy does this, a good girl does this, a good Christian or Catholic or Jewish person does this or that, or doesn't do this or that. Well, and then of course we're not going to go against our programming. It's like fighting an elephant. You're not going to win. Even if short term you do, you're going to lose in the long run. So to answer your previous question, if people want some help with this, want to chat, want to hang out, feel free to go to limitless-entrepreneur.com. There's even a free training there as well. You can watch on some of the top keys on help you to be successful and to take our conversation today further. You can email me, james@limitless-entrepreneur.com. And you can even search for my handle on YouTube, my YouTube channel, James R for Robert Elliot, ELLIOT 99. James R Elliot 99 on YouTube. This has been fun. Thanks for having me, Victoria.
Been fantastic. And James, as always, it's just great. I love hanging out with you and always got some wonderful wisdom to share with everyone, and I
My
thank you so
pleasure.
much for doing that.
My pleasure.
Great, and I'll also put down every